Hello everyone, welcome back to Lost Golf Centre with myself, Joe Lovery. So today I'm in the brand new upstairs studio and I'm doing the second part of my iron series. So this is the Jpx 900 Forged. Now the Forged is the middle range of the Jpx family. You've got the Tours at the bottom end and then going up to the hot metals for the higher sort of handicappers. These are in the middle. The only reason why I'm staying away from the Tours is because I'm not playing as much golf at the moment, so the Forged for me are going to help me. Hopefully when I do a little bit of misstriking, I can still sort of get away with it. So that's kind of the idea with these. And yeah, let's see how they perform. So I've already run a shaft optimizer and I'm hitting the Project X LZ 6.5. So a little bit less stiff, I believe, than the normal 6.5. The idea is it's got a little loading zone in it. How much I read into that, I don't. But let's give it a whirl. So I've got the 6 iron in the Forged. Let's give it a whirl. Shot. This is what I mean, still went well, 192. I mean, there's no way my irons at the moment would have gone that far. Again, struck one well, 197. So there's not a huge difference in distance, despite the strike being a lot better. And this is exactly what I'm looking for in my next set. Something I can slightly misstrike. 185, you know, you can get away with it. And I think sometimes there's too many people, unfortunately, looking for the rite of passage, trying to go into a blade, whereas realistically nowadays, technology's moved that far that you don't need to hit a blade to be able to move the golf ball or get the sort of feel that you would from a blade compared to like the cavity. I mean, with these, they've got a little bit of cavity to them, but you can still get a lot of feel back from them. You know, I know whereabouts the ball's been hit off the face. It doesn't feel numb. Feels like I can flight it, control it. I mean, if I try and knock one down, I can. And it's gone the same distance. Let's have a look at the numbers. So just looking at the shot plot to begin with, now one of the bits I look at mainly is the actual flight. Now from this angle, you can see they all look fairly consistent. A little bit of misdirection, but that's me more than the club. You can see on the side on there, the ball is pitching and stopping, and it's also flying at quite a consistent height, which for me, I think is really important. And says to me the shafts are looking to be along the right lines. But if we have a look at the numbers now, this will begin to tell us actually how exact they are and how well the heads are working. So for me, the carry and total distance there are very consistent. Even with a few missed strikes, I've actually managed to get the ball going a nice consistent distance, which I think is really important. I'm noticing with my irons, which are blades at the moment, I'm not getting that consistency. If you strike them really well, yes, you will get the consistency. But where I'm not playing as much golf, the swing's probably not quite as tidy as what it once was. What I'm finding now is actually the distances are varying. I'm starting to hit the ball a bit shorter, especially with the missed strikes. I'm struggling therefore to hit greens. It means my scores, as you imagine, putting a lot of pressure on my short game. So actually having a look through, club head speed there, obviously fairly consistent. Ball speed coming out fairly consistent. Spin rate at around about sort of 4,000. Some might argue with a 6 iron a bit low, but for me it's sort of expected. That's whereabouts I've got my numbers at the moment. It's where I like to see the flight. I think you could argue adding sort of an extra degree as such on the actual club head could add extra control. It's something I might have a tinker around with. Obviously if I was to go for the irons. Having looked then at the sort of ball, everything there looks very consistent. The height on the flight, again, fairly consistent. You can tell just a couple of missed strikes. The ball came out a little bit lower on the last one. Caught it a little bit thin. I know it's that sort of flighted one I was trying to play. Classification, obviously all similar. Now if we actually have a look over to the spin loft over there, you can see it's just slightly on the low side again. So obviously looking at the sort of spin numbers again, I think that extra degree could bring that up, just make that a little bit more playable. If we just have a look over to the grouping, obviously talking about control, you can see here actually fairly consistent. You can kind of see in this point around here. Do you know what? All in the same kind of area. I think, you know, if they're all in the center rather than being off target as such, you'd probably find that they'd be a real nice tight-knit group. This is pretty much what I'm looking for in an iron. For me personally, feel-wise, they feel great. I think they look really good. It's amazing how they kind of hide that extra kind of weight in behind. Some clubs don't do that too well, but those for me look spot on. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on and how they perform at the end of the series, definitely. But they're certainly top runner at the minute in consideration. So thanks very much for watching. If you haven't checked out our Facebook page, please have a look, AT Golf Coaching. Make sure you subscribe for any more sort of series. I know I've got a big one planned coming up soon, which I think you guys are really going to enjoy. So thanks so much for watching. See you soon.
You're recording. I thought I'd start early so you could get my voice on. Maybe use that as your outro. Me singing.